Hey there, it's Chuck with RodeckBuilder.com. We are here with today's spoilers. One of the big ones we have here is Underworld Coinsmith. This is an uncommon Orzhov Colors white-black card. It does use the Constellation mechanic. Whenever it, or another enchantment creature, or just enchantment, I'm sorry, enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And then you white-black, pay a life, each opponent loses 1 life. This is going to behave a lot like Scholar of Athreos in Draft. If you get this and Scholar of Athreos and you're on a white-black draft, you have a way to gain life, and Scholar of Athreos basically drains them and gives you 1 every turn, so it's like a leech effect. But this, actually, you gain the life whenever you cast an enchantment creature, or just an enchantment, I'm sorry, again, and then you can pay a life and they lose a life, so technically you could be draining them for 2 a turn if you have a Scholar of Athreos. So this is going to be a fantastic draft card. I don't know whether this will find its place in anything as far as the standard goes. Not real impressed with it that way. It could fit into an Orzhov Humans deck, but other than that, meh. I don't know. Not real impressive to me. But if nothing else, it's a 2/2 for 2. So, you know, it's a bear with a decent ability. Dictate of Kruphix. This card is interesting to say the least. It is in a rare slot. It has flash. It's just an enchantment with flash. And at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. So Howling Mine with an upside. You can flash it in. So this card is going to be pretty awesome and pretty expensive, I think. So yeah, as soon as you can get your hand on a pre-order of that, I would definitely get a playset at least. Squelching Leeches is something that's interesting. It's like a nightmare, but for a little bit less casting cost. For 2 black, we get power and toughness are each equal to the number of swamps you control. So I don't really know how I feel about this card. I don't really feel like it deserves an uncommon slot. Because unless you're playing mono black, it's not really going to do a whole lot for you. And yeah, I don't think this card is going to make the mono black list. So there's that. But it does exponentially grow with however many swamps you keep dropping on the field. And Dictate of the Twin Gods is another enchantment with flash. So I feel like this is going to be a thing. We're going to see probably 1 from every color that's an enchantment with flash that has a static ability. If a source would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. I am so glad that this is a 5 casting cost. That's all I have to say. I mean, holy cow. You want to talk about a finisher for the Boros Burn deck. This is their finisher. I mean, they do this, cast a lightning strike. The game's I mean, at that point the game's over. I mean, unless you've been gaining life the whole game. This card is just ridiculous for that deck. So, on to the next stuff we've got here. These cards are the card that are the front card for the colored decks, for the decks for the series. They are all of the promo cards basically, and the I don't really know what you want to call them. They're just the card that you see in the front of event deck that you would buy. So green, you have Hero's Bane, and it's another Hydra. It seems like they're trying to just fuel the Hydra here. Hero's Bane enters the battlefield with 4 counters on it. And for 4, you can put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. So you can make it an 8/8 the next turn. You could make it 16/16 the turn after that. So this is going to get out of hand very quickly, as it's going to double every turn if they don't deal with it. So It's kind of potentially a game ender, but you're paying 5 for 4/4, and then after that you're paying 9 for a 8/8, and after that you're going to pay 13 for a 16/16 when it comes around. So as it grows, by third turn you can justify it, so not all that great. Spawn of Thraxes is 7 casting cost. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of mountains you control. So a little underwhelming in my opinion, but I mean you'd have to control obviously at least 2 mountains, so you're going to get your value out of it. I don't know. It seems a little underwhelming and high mana costed. For Doomwake Giant, we have another constellation mechanic here. When Doomwake Giant or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, creatures your opponent control gets -1/1. And a 5 casting cost for a 4/6 is not ugly. A 6 is a huge butt, and 4 is not ugly either. And plus your opponents are getting a -1/-1. So for draft, this guy's going to be a bomb. I like him for black. And he's an enchantment creature to boot, so another card that can potentially fit into our Golgari deck that I am looking to brew as an enchantment deck. So this could be definitely a potential for that. Again, not fantastic, but I would say that the black one is probably one of the better ones here. And Scourge of Fleets is going to be another 7 casting costs. When it enters the battlefield, return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less to its owner's hand, where X is the number of islands that you control. So this definitely has some potential as well. I think it's, again, high casting cost, but not as bad as like your Spawn of Thraxes. I think it does pretty good if you're playing against like a Weenies deck or something of that nature. But again, just a little underwhelming. And then we come to Dawnbringer Chariots, which is 4 casting cost to 4. It has flying and lifelink, which already is justifiable for the casting cost. And then heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets Dawnbringer Charioteers, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So this card has the potential in draft to get out of hand. For limited, I don't know if it'll make a deck, but for heroic wise, this is going to be a good limited card, I think. So out of all of these, I think I like Doomwake Giant and Dawnbringer Chariots the best, with a third as Hero's Bane, probably the Scourge of Fleets as my number 4 pick, and Spawn of Thraxes as my number 5. And those would be my order of probably how I feel about these cards. So would love to see how you feel about it. Definitely. And one more thing that I want to look at here today. And actually, I lied a little bit there. There's actually 2 more things. Iroas God of Victory has been officially spoiled. He is a real thing, and this card is ugly for everybody that's playing against red-white. So Boros has their general. This guy is pretty sick. So yeah, if you get a chance to pick this guy up for cheap, I would pick him up now because his price is going nowhere but up. So yep, that one is confirmed. And on to the last thing for today. This is from the packaging page, and this is our first look at what the Ajani is going to look like from Journey into Nyx. So we have this awesome art here, and this is going to be the art for the new Ajani card. I'm super stoked about it. I like it. It looks fantastic here. The other card, the other images that we have here for our packaging are Farika, and we have this thing that we don't know what it is yet. It's some type of Cyclops. So yeah, and that we've seen the other two arts, and this is going to be the art for Ajani. So pretty exciting there. But that's the last thing we had today. So yeah, definitely would love to hear what you guys think about these cards, and you know, what you would do with them or where you would put them. So yep, thank you very much for watching. It's been Chuck with RogueDeckBuilder.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow.